buying beverages with Bitcoin on the dark web. Hi, I'm Tanya Hall with ZDNet, and today we're going to talk to Mike Schneider, otherwise known as Schneider Mike. He is the Chief Marketing Officer of BevNet. He is responsible for Project Nosh, and he's the host of Taste Radio Podcast. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Tanya. It's good to be here.
Now, so what is BevNet?
BevNet's a media channel. We cover the food and beverage industries and the beer industry through various channels. We started off as a magazine. We have website, bevnet.com, projectnosh.com, brewbound.com. We have podcasts, we have videos, we have events. BevNet Live's coming up in December.
We all put that on your calendars, right? Well, it should be there. So
Fun times.
You've been in the marketing space for a long time. I've known you for many years, and you've worked for a variety of different companies. The product that you have now is a tangible product that you actually traditionally would go to the store and buy. You knew what you liked. You pretty much stuck to it.
Right.
Now you can actually buy things, products like beverages online. In fact, it's direct to consumer. It certainly changed my life. I order a lot of things on Amazon, including beverages. How has that made an impact on the beverage industry?
I wouldn't say it's made an enormous impact on the beverage industry yet, but we see companies that are moving in the direction of direct technology and direct to consumer. So you've got companies like Dirty Lemon, for instance, you have companies like Dirty Lemon who have a line of, they call it wellness waters. And the only way that you can order from Dirty Lemon is via text message. And so that gives them an opportunity to have this direct relationship with their consumer where it's a text relationship. It's probably like, the relationship you have with your mother or something like that. But so you have to think about the beverage industry and what it takes to make a beverage and get it distributed. And so now we're just in this space now where we're thinking about, okay, shelf stable beverages and better refrigeration and overnight shipping and things like that, where beverages can start to think about, okay, now I can start to have a direct to consumer relationship.
Does it make a difference that Dirty Lemon specifically is all about really a health, and fitness kind of approach? I mean, you see flavored waters are really big with the younger demographic, millennials. Is that, does that impact, or does that, the fact that they're targeting millennials determine how they're going to push out their product?
I'm sure it has something to do with it. I think that they're looking for differentiators just like everybody else is in the space. And they've done a good job of differentiating on the value proposition for millennials, as well as the packaging is pretty hot. So Adam Loris and the gang, I think, have done a good job of differentiating both from a product perspective as well as a distribution perspective. I've also seen some other things happening. You're familiar with Soylent? You're familiar with
I am. Soylent's huge in the tech industry. You've got a lot of tech, VCs and that sort of thing. They've invested in Soylent. Soylent's really huge. What is Soylent doing that's different?
Yeah, so everybody knows in the tech industry that Soylent is a meal replacement. But what Soylent has done, they were one of the first to actually go strictly direct to consumer. And so they're doing some interesting things to further innovate on the distribution front. In fact, they had this really cool marketing program where they had a dark web channel where there's a site that you could only launch on the Tor browser, and you had to pay in Bitcoin and things like that. But the interesting thing that Soylent is finding out is that if they want to go mainstream, the direct-to-consumer model isn't the only place they're going to be. So they're actually going in reverse, and you're going to start to see them in retail establishments coming up soon.
So not every beverage company is going to launch on the dark web and make it so that you can only use cryptocurrency to buy their product.
Right. No,
although very cool, and you and I might do that. Not everybody's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have bigger brands like the Pepsis and the Cokes of the world who are certainly doing some of the things they've always done. Are they feeling an impact at all by some of these kind of alternative marketing strategies using the web and, I don't know, the dark web?
Pepsi and Coke, I don't know if they're feeling an impact, but both of them are big on the innovation front. They have their incubators, like VEB, for instance, that is constantly looking at innovations in the industry and trying to find the latest and greatest thing to bring into their families so that they don't miss out on the revolution.
What about from a public relations standpoint?
Mhm.
Pepsi had an issue not that long ago where they had a Kardashian in a video, and it was perceived on the web, and it kind of blew up on social media as a less than positive
Mhm.
commercial representing the brand. How are beverage companies in general responding to to the being able to interact with fans and consumers
Mhm.
so immediately?
I think what I'm seeing the most of is that they're doing a very good job on Instagram of activating influencers, and particularly you'll see a lot of food and beverage companies that are activating the LA yoga scene to get their natural food and beverage in the hands of influencers to show different use occasions and to show people exactly how to use the products. For instance, if we can go into the food space for a minute. There's a small company that seems so much bigger than it is because of who is actually using it, called Coconut Cult. They're cool. It's like an effervescent, almost carbonated like yogurt, but it tastes like it's fermented. It's really good. So you've got companies like that are activating this space of a very small number of people to get their message out there in a very big way.
How do they go about finding influencers? I mean, are they using social platforms just to bring them in? Are they using agencies to help cultivate that? And because of that, is that why we're seeing such a growth in kind of this healthy drink space?
I don't know if that's the only reason that we're seeing it. I'm sure it is a reason because the influencers do have these audiences of, hundreds of thousands of people on Instagram. We talked to one last on a couple of podcast episodes ago on Taste Radio named Olivia Koo, who is Love Health OK on Instagram, and she talked to us a little bit about her model and how to approach an influencer, and it seems to be very much, at least for Olivia, a direct brand to influencer relationship right now, although I'm sure agencies are involved as well.
So, what do we need to think about going forward? If you are a beverage, you're the chief marketing officer or the internet officer, chief technology officer for a beverage brand, or something, maybe even just in the health space. What do they need to think about moving forward to continue to digitally transform?
Yeah, we recently also talked to John Coogan, who is the CTO of Soylent, and he was talking about direct to consumer relationship and being very close to your data. And I think the key insight that we got from John was to be able to automate yourself out of a job and bring in automation in ways that allow you to scale the company. And we're not seeing still a heck of a lot. You don't see a lot of beverage companies that go out and immediately hire a chief technology officer, although I think we're going to start to see more and more of that. So it's this idea of doing whatever it takes to get closer to your consumer. But on the flip side of that, there's the idea of, you can spend a lot of money marketing to the consumer, but you should also worry about whether your beverage is available to the consumer once they find out about you. So if you spend a lot of money on marketing and you're only available in one market, well, you better do something location based, I think.
Location based. That's for a whole nother conversation because you're not following me on Swarm.
I'm not swarming anymore, Tanya.
I still swarm. Well,
Speaking of unnatural behavior.
Thanks, Mike, for joining and sharing some insight with us on digital transformation. If somebody wants to follow you and learn more about what you're doing, how can they do that?
I like Instagram. Follow @BevNetMike on Instagram and listen to us on Taste Radio.
And I'm Tanya Hall. You can find more of my interviews on Tech Republic and ZDNet. And follow me on Twitter at @Tanya Hall Radio.